everyone, it's Silvia from Fairlight Tarot. Welcome back to my channel. I don't know if you can tell from the tone of my voice, but today I'm super happy because Christmas has come early to my place. I have just received a box full of goodies from one of my favorite tarot creators of all time, and I am so very grateful. Obviously, this is a video in which I'm going to do an unboxing. I'm going to show you all of these decks, and we're going to talk about a Kickstarter campaign that is now funding on Kickstarter. So I'll make sure to put all of the links in the description box below for you to check these items out. And I am so very happy to say the goodies that I'm going to show you today. This is a really big and heavy box that I just received in the mail, and it's so heavy that I was walking up the stairs and I was like, okay, now I can actually feel that I'm going up the stairs with this. It's probably about 2.5-3 kilos worth of stuff. And this is a box that has been packed by Mary in the Sky. So we all know her and we all love her, and it was really amazing because let me tell you, she reached out to me last week, and I already got the box. I mean, how quick is that? Because she's sending it out from Alaska and I'm in Australia, and so this has been the quickest I've ever received anything from the other side of the ocean. Now, she reached out to me, and that already made me, I have to be honest, 100%. I was so starstruck that she actually knew me, and she actually reached out to me because she wanted to offer me the opportunity to open this box and, you know, and post a video with her decks. And I'm like, hey, oh my God, you know about me, you know about my channel. You obviously appreciate it and you like it, because otherwise you wouldn't reach out to me. And she already knew that I live in Australia. Now, I receive a lot of offers for partnership from tarot creators, but every time that I say that I live in Australia and they obviously have to pay for shipping, you know, a few people actually say, yeah, never mind. Which is fair enough. I mean, I understand, obviously shipping costs are what they are. But so she already knew my channel. I'm like, oh my God, you know, when I use her Gentle Tarot all the time. You guys have seen it on my channel so many times, but knowing that she was actually watching my videos has made me also very conscious of what I say about the decks, obviously. But on the other hand, I am so very happy. And so she reached out and she says, look, I want to send you a couple of decks and a couple of things. There is, as I said in the intro of this video, a Kickstarter campaign that is currently funding on Kickstarter for an amazingly beautiful oracle deck that will be a companion oracle to the Gentle Tarot. And as I said, I'm going to put all of the links in the description box below. But without much further ado, let me just get, you know, everything opened and we'll talk about what's inside here. I have only had a peek because I wanted to see whether there was something that I couldn't share. Obviously, I think we're okay, and I just covered the address label, so I think we're good. Let's see what we've got. Okay, oh my God, look at this. I feel like I need to zoom out, but I'm already zoomed out as much as I can. Let me see if I can change the height of the tripod. Okay, that's a bit better. We can see everything. I'm so excited. I know, it sounds like I'm being a groupie, which I probably am, but I don't know. If you know the feeling, that this has been amazing. And I told Mary, of course I'm going to do the unboxing. Of course I want to show you decks, you know, and even though I already have the Gentle Tarot, but it's amazing to be in touch with someone whose deck has given me so many wonderful moments And I told her, look, the reason why I started my channel was because I felt like I was a bit isolated in my practice, and I really wanted to create these meaningful connections within the tarot community. And that is exactly what I'm here for. So I am so excited. All right, let's start with this. This is a really beautiful, well, it's actually more than one. Oh my goodness, look at these are amazing. Okay, I need to do this with a little bit of brain. And so I'm just going to do like this, and we're going to have a look at these. These are tarot reading mats, and you know that I'm actually offering to the members on my channel, I'm offering a free Wheel of the Year readings for 2025. And so obviously I will be needing a lot of really good size tarot reading maps. So I cannot show you how big this is. This is square size. It is amazing. So just to give you an idea, this starts here and then it goes on and it finishes here. So this is how big it is, and this is definitely, if you are concerned about readings, big readings, like as I said, the Wheel of the Year, these tarot reading maps will actually be fantastic for that, because you will definitely be able to you know, to fit all of the cards, especially if you do the Wheel of the Year as in a circle, you will definitely be able to fit all of the cards in the mat, which is always very nice. And as always, my style artwork is always very recognizable, and there's always something really kind, very compassionate about the way she uses, you know, her art. And I always like to relate to that, because the Gentle Tarot, if you've been following my channel for any length of time, you will know that I always refer to that as a deck, that it's an excellent reader, because it does not shy away from telling you the truth. And sometimes the truth can be a bit strong, a bit intense, but it does so in such a way that it doesn't feel like it's a slap on the face. It feels like it's actually taking your hand and telling you that you are loved, you are supported, but this is what's going to happen. This is the truth. These are the energies you will have to deal with, but I'm here for you. And I absolutely love that I have that feeling when I use a deck. And as a matter of fact, I use it a lot for my members only readings, for example. And this is what the impression that I also get from my members when I use that deck. So I am so very excited to just go on and see what else is in the box. So what's in the box? What's in the box? Let's see. So I actually I only picked to see whether there was something, let's say, that I couldn't share, but I didn't actually see what's in it. I didn't even know that there were 2 tarot reading maps, so I'm very happy about that. Now, because I am a very passionate journal keeper, so you guys know that I am also into collecting, for example, fountain pens and fountain pen inks. And it's something that I try and integrate into my tarot practice, because sometimes I actually make it so that I choose a certain ink or a certain color of ink to go with a certain energy of a decan, for example. So I'm doing the decan walk with my members, and for each and every different decan, I search for the color associated as given by the guidelines of the Golden Dawn, and then I pick the color out of my ink collection. What happens though is that sometimes when we use fountain pens, we need really strong paper. So when it comes to notebooks, I'm always happy to check out not just the aesthetics of them, and this is absolutely beautiful. This is the back of the card of the Gentle Tarot. I really love this, and I love the fact that there are these lines, and I don't know if you can tell. If I do this, you can probably tell with the light reflecting on that these are actually gold foil. And on top of everything, it also gives you that really nice tactile experience to that, because it feels like they come out, they are almost as if they were embossed, and obviously that is a result of a foiling. And so when it comes, as I was saying, when it comes to notebooks, I'm always very conscious about the quality. So this, when it comes to quality, it feels absolutely amazing. So it's got a hardcover, really beautiful. I don't know if you can hear the noise. I really love that. It's the perfect size because sometimes you want to take it with you, you want to put it in your purse, and you know, sometimes you're just having a coffee by yourself and you're thinking about something and you want to just write it down. So this one will fit perfectly in a purse, and it does come with this elastic, so you can actually also close it like that, which is perfect, because sometimes when I put it in my purse, I don't know about your purses, but my purses, there's practically chaos inside them. And so if you keep it open, you know, it might actually fray the pages because it might get in touch with some objects like keys, for example, that I also put in my bag. However, when you use this, obviously this will not happen. So very, very happy about this. And then when we open it, this is so beautiful. So I love that I am reminded in all of these things, I'm reminded about Mary's artwork and the compassion and the feelings of gentleness, for sure. It is called the Gentle Tarot after all, and there's a reason. And but it's also an extremely balanced kind of deck. I love to say that because it starts with giving you very strong earthy vibes, perhaps because of the colors, but we'll talk about it when we have a look at the decks. But I feel that this is a component in general about Mary's artwork. So it is very balanced because it does present all of the 4 elements, not just the earthy components of the colors, the color palette, but also the watery components of the feelings that it's evoking, and also the fire of the energy and the air. So I'm really, really happy to have this, and I will be using this as my notebook for 2025. And I have to say it's really cool because it also comes with these dotted backs. So the pages on this side are lined, but on this side are actually dotted. That is actually my preference, so I'm really happy to see that. And so this is the first edition, it looks like, and it's got 168 pages. This is recycled paper, fantastic, wonderful. And 5% of the proceeds are going to be donated for the planet. That is something else that I really love about what Mary does. There's always this sense of awareness that we are part of something bigger than us. And obviously, you know, knowing that 5% of the profits made out of the purchase of these goodies will go to associations that take care of planet Earth, which is our home. This is where we live, and it is something that really you can really feel coming out of the cards as well. So really, really stoked about this really beautiful notebook. As I said, I'm a paper lover. There's no two ways around that. And then I see the 3 decks. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take them out, and then we're going to have a look at them, and then we're also going to have a look at what else is in there, but I don't want to jump ahead, so let me just do this. So so these are wrapped. This one is, sorry, actually this is the right side up. So this is a really beautiful bag, by the way. I did not have this bag, so it's actually very nice. I like to keep my decks within a box and also within a bag. Because sometimes I feel like there's a lot of humidity in Sydney, and you know, I don't want my decks to get ruined. So the better the bag, the better it is for also the decks when I also store them inside the box. What we can do, I can actually zoom in because I feel like we want to be able to see the cards. So many of you will know this deck. If you don't, I highly recommend it, no matter what your style of reading is, but also no matter what you want to focus on. Because the Gentle Tarot, as I was saying earlier, is one of those decks that really gives you the possibility to do a lot of work. It's a lot of work on yourself, so you can use it in an intuitive way, but also as a self-growth tool. But it's also one of those decks that is really good for tarot readers when we are reading for clients or for friends or for ourselves, because it does give you that additional sense of protection that I really appreciate in a deck. Now, let me just open these, and I don't know if you noticed, but I'm wearing really long nails, but I felt like these green and teal colors were going really well with the tarot deck. What happens is that I actually look really goofy when I start opening stuff with these nails because I'm not used to wear them. So I'm just gonna, you know, probably jump ahead to when I'm going to reveal the decks. Okay, now everything is open. I didn't lose any nail, which is a win-win for me. Let's start with this one, because this is the one that I know and I've had also for quite some time in my collection. So I don't have the back door. So the one that I have was the first edition that came with a, I believe it was a wraparound magnetic box. And this is the standard size, so obviously we're probably more used to this because it is what we generally work with. As I said, these are the backs, and as you can see, that's the same that we had on the notebook, and we're starting with the suit of cups. I love the fact that also we have the borders in a different colors, as you can see, compared to the other suits and also the majors. This will help you remind yourself of that elemental energy of the suit of cups. Obviously the blue is referring to water, and water as an element also in alchemy, but generally speaking is referring back to the emotions and the feelings that we're feeling. Now the court cards, I'm sure you all know this, and I feel like I'm saying something that everyone is very familiar with already, but this is also a way for me to express my appreciation for the deck, as in being careful in pointing out the details. And if you don't know this deck, you would not know, for example, that the court cards have been renamed. So we have the page. It will still be very easy to identify them because, as you can see, there are the numbers up here. So if, for example, you're just pulling cards and you don't necessarily remember that the seed is referring to the page, you will still be able to make that connection because you will look at the number up here. And may I just say, these are my favorite colors altogether. Just absolutely fantastic. And of course there's an otter. So the seed is a page, the root is the knight, the flower is the queen, and the harvest is the king. So obviously, as I said, not difficult at all to recognize them because you will be able to see the number at the top. And then we're moving on to the major arcanas, which borders are in this really nice purple color. I have to say, I love this deck because of the colors and also because of the art style, but whenever it comes to colors, I'm very picky. I don't know, there's a lot of people that are very similar to me in the sense that they like to see saturated colors and but a variety of them, like a wider kind of color gamut. I believe that's scientific or the technical term. So we actually have access to a broader range of colors, and I really appreciate that when I can do that in a deck. And by the way, isn't this the most beautiful card of all time? I just absolutely love. Well, first of all, I love whales, so that's one thing, but I also love that there is this reflection that looks like a bit of a rainbow on the whale itself. And I also love the fact that it refers to the strength card, which is really amazing. And by the way, I actually did a Wheel of the Year reading this morning, and I used the Gentle Tarot, and I also pulled a few of these cards, in particular the Temperance card, which is really, really cool because there is this detail here, and sometimes we don't really pay too much attention to the cards and we don't see all of the details. But there are, and I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe that these are dolphins. And they are pointing up, and it looks like they want to break the surface. They want to go up to the surface. So in this card, you actually find a lot of really balanced kind of elements because it's not just the water, the body of water, but you can also see the element of air thanks to the birds. You can see the element of earth thanks to the flower, but also the energy of keeping yourself in balance in this rope or wire or small bridge that it is, that, you know, it requires that sense of a spark of fire. So I really, really love also the way in which many of these cards are depicted, and the star card, for example, as well, and the moon card and the sun and the Judgment, and obviously the World card is absolutely stunning, and I mean really, really stunning. And then there's an additional card, which is the card of the Unseen, which reminds me of a couple of oracle decks that I've got. So it will be very interesting because in this video we'll also do some pairing, so stay tuned. And then we're moving on to the Suit of Stones, which is in this case the renaming for the Suit of Pentacles. And again, not difficult because obviously you see the green that refers to the color of earth. So obviously that will be a reminder for you if you don't necessarily, if you're reading, you're pulling a card and you don't necessarily have the context around the deck and you don't remember which suit that is, then you just look at the border of the cards. And that we're moving on to the yellow, which is representing a suit of air, which is renamed as Suit of Thunder. And also that makes sense if you think about it, because obviously the thunder comes from the sky. And this is actually the Two of Thunder, which is, if I may show you this one, which is the teen edition. It is on the top of the box as well, and of the teen edition as well. I always found that it was a very curious choice as the card that you want to present to the world as representative of your deck, because the Two of Thunder or the Two of Swords or the Two of Air really puts you in a position in which you're trying and gathering all of your energy, but you're trying to protect yourself because in many decks, for example, the person is blindfolded. In other decks, they're closing their eyes, and I believe in this deck as well, they're closing their eyes. And so it will seem to point to a situation in which you're not aware of all of the things you can choose from. So it gives you a little bit sense of being confused, but also being stuck at the same time. And there is a sense of danger of the Two Swords in many, many decks. But in this one, I kind of understand why choosing this card to represent all of the work related to the Gentle Tarot, because it's the way in which we reach out for compassion whenever we find ourselves in a Two of Swords situation, when we actually need that sense of support. And this card is really conservative in energies, in the sense that the person is folding onto themselves, but it's also really lovely because it looks like it's depicted as under the sea, because these are, I believe, algae. I don't know the name specifically of these ones, but I do see them when I go scuba diving and snorkeling, for example. So there is this sense of peacefulness, there is this sense of lack of sound, and as such of stillness as well. And I really appreciate that, and I think that it's a very beautiful way to refer to your line of work, your work of art, and the fact that you express yourself through your work, through your artwork, and express these feelings of conservation of energy, conservation of the environment, but also being in tune with the environment, and the possibility of expressing that compassion whenever we most need it. So I don't want to read too much into that, obviously. I also appreciate that there's no Three Swords, piercing the heart, because I'm always saying that that is a little bit of a lazy way to draw a Three of Thunder or Three of Swords or whatever that is. So I do appreciate that. I love that the Six of Thunder is a person that is still doing this transaction. There is this sense of movement. There is this sense of going towards something better, a better shore on the other side. But at the same time, we feel the support of the whale because it's a majestic creature. And if you, I've been to Tonga and I was swimming with the whales. It was one of the most exhilarating and emotional experiences done in nature of my entire life. It was something that I will never forget, because it was just, I don't know, out of this world, honestly, even though it was really expressing nature in its most wonderful way. It kind of felt like it was out of this world. So I love that it's depicted on the Six of Thunder. And obviously there are references here with the links, but I'm not going too deeply into the cards today. I do use this deck quite a lot on my channel, so you will definitely see it again and again to the point of saying enough. But that's how much I love this. And obviously we're looking at the Suit of Fire with obviously the wands. And I, as always, appreciate the fact that you can tell thanks to the color of the borders, which is this really beautiful red-orange. So this deck is amazing. The cardstock is phenomenal. It's very soft to the touch. The tactile feel is very satisfying, but it's also so that the cards don't stick one to the other, because, by the way, I forgot to say that the edging is done in this really beautiful gold, but it's not a glossy gold, it's a matte one. And because of that, or thanks to that, the cards don't stick one to the other. So as soon as you take it out of the box or the bags, like in this case, it is ready to be used. You don't have to separate the cards. You obviously have to shuffle. It shuffles really nicely. However, I am wearing these impossibly long nails, so I'm not gonna show you how goofy I am when I shuffle using these nails. Whenever I read for someone, I make sure that I have my natural nails, so nothing like this. But it is a really easy to use deck and very easy to shuffle, even in the standard size. But now let me show you the other two. Okay, so this one here comes in a tuck box, which is really nice and appreciated. It is a smaller size, but let me just get the deck out, because obviously I will be able to show you the specification in a much easier way. This is the linen edition, and it was from a 2021 print run. So I'm also very much into linen. I think that all of us, we have this linen phase, this linen era, because honestly I really like the feel of linen when there's a different procedure, different method to produce linen cardstock, and I'm not an expert. However, I do have a very strong sense of is it called tactile sense? In any case, it's something that is actually very important to me, because it does form part of the ways in which I relate and bond to a deck. So even sometimes I even smell a deck, and I know it might sound a bit weird, but everything is related to me, and obviously that is the way in which I approach a deck as well. And when it comes to linen, I have to say these are the decks that fan out in the best possible way, as you can see, and at the same time they are the easiest ones to overhand shuffle. On a scale from 0 to 10, linen is 10, and the rose petal kind of feel of the cardstock is the worst, because unfortunately with a rose petal kind of finish you will have the experience of all of the cards kind of sticking, not necessarily sticking one to the other, but they will not slide as easily as the linen ones. So I am very, very happy that I got this one. Now there's a few additional cards here. Now you will notice that there's also the possibility to download the PDF of the guidebook. However, if you don't want to download the PDF, then you'll have the possibility, this is a welcome card, you'll have the possibility to have a look at these cards here. Let me just give you a quick look. So I also like that there's closing intentions. I actually read this the first time because I had a possibility to look at this deck, even though I don't have it in my collection, although now I do. But a friend of mine has it, and I was reading this and I find it very, very intense, very strong. So I honor my body for carrying me to this point in my journey. I honor my mind for receiving my surroundings, and I honor my heart for interpreting them the best that I can. This is really beautiful, and I honestly think that it's not just a closing intention when you do a reading, then you do a closing kind of mantra of intention, but this is very beautiful whenever you do any kind of ritual. So if you want to use this, there's also the opening intention, of course, on this side of the card. So we got the opening intention and the closing intention, which is always appreciated. And then we have a card with a couple of spreads that you can always use. And you know me, I always appreciate when the creator is actually taking, you know, the time to create special spreads in order to be used, to use them with their decks, because it really comes as a full package in the sense that you have the possibility to relate and bond to the deck, but also the creator gives you her own idea or their own idea on how to best approach the deck, on what to best use it for. And I'm really appreciative of that. So a lift me up spread, which we all use every now and then, or more often than others. In my case, I can tell you I'm so happy about this. It's also because I've had a very intense kind of October. I call this Booktober, and I think I jinxed myself because it has been a really intense month in which the veil felt like it was very, very thin. And it was amazing because I also received a lot of messages in the form of dreams from my beloved ones that I'm not there anymore. But at the same time, it was very intense for me. And I feel really low in energy at this time. And so I'm really happy because this is the kind of decks that I would definitely use to recuperate those energies and find back the sense of balance. So I'll definitely use the Lift Me Up spread. But I also like this spread, which is called Extra Love. So we might actually try these if I have time. I don't want this video to be too long because I know that you guys want to see a variety of cards. But it's also really beautiful to do an unboxing together because obviously you guys are hearing about my first-hand impressions of something that I received, and I don't know if you can tell I'm quite happy about these. So these are the cards that you can refer to. Obviously they are divided as per color as we've seen in the previous deck. So the purple is referring to the major arcanas. The red orangey is referring to the suit of fire, so the suit of wands. Now we got cups with the blue, then we got thunder or yellow or air, and then we got green for the suit of earth, of course. So I'm just gonna set these aside. This is pretty much the same cards, so when we remember the deck that we just seen earlier, it's this one here. So I'm not going to do a comparison. I'm sure we all know how these cards look. I pretty much think that this is one of the indie decks that is probably most loved throughout the whole community, because it is true that it's an indie deck, but at the same time Mari has priced her decks in a very, very reasonable way, and it's not difficult to find them. I also know there's a lot of resellers of the Gentle Tarot throughout, you know, the world, and it's not one of those indie decks that has a limited print runs or it becomes very difficult to find, or it was already priced really high to begin with. So I know as a fact that many of us readers but also collectors have this deck, perhaps in one form or another. What I wanted to do though is to show you the difference in size. So obviously with that we have this one, which is I believe the first edition, with a standard tarot size, and this is the linen. And let me just do it this way, and I'm showing you that it's got the same width. So it's not shorter, it's got the same width as a standard tarot size, but it is smaller, it is shorter in this sense. So it is also easier to handle if you, like me, have problems with your fingers, for example. That is definitely something to consider. And also because of the particular cardstock, which is linen, as we said, it makes it even easier to handle and to shuffle. But now let's look at the 1 in 18, because I actually never had the opportunity to look at this deck. I have seen it in many, you know, social media, Instagram, or someone giving a walkthrough in a YouTube channel, for example, but I've actually never seen it and touched it with my own hand. And I have to say, I am going through a phase in which I really like and appreciate mini decks or decks that come in a tin, because first of all, they're much more durable, they are protected for any kind of damage, but it's also because you just put them in your bag and, you know, they stay there and you can use them and you can pick them up and use them anytime you want, even when you're on the move. And I have to say, I don't know if I can show you by doing this. So the tin can is actually embossed. So I believe this is a seal. So I don't know if I can show you. Okay, so this is a seal, and it is in the Two of Swords. Let me just pick up the Two of Swords here so I can better show you. There you go. So this is the standard tarot size, and this one is the seal. You see here? So this one is not painted, let's say, not printed, but it's actually printed and embossed. Okay, I hope I explained myself. I hope I didn't make a mess about the explanation. What I wanted to say is that it's really cool. There's actually elements that are not just printed in color, but they're also embossed. As much as you can see that for the title, the Gentle Tarot, and also, you know, Heal Yourself, Heal the Earth, or Mind the Sky is also embossed. Pocket Edition is not embossed. So this one, really cool. As I said, it's coming, it's got a little bit of an explanation of what this tarot represents in the back. And if we open it, so we'll see that, I don't know actually, because it's the first time that I'm opening it. And this is really cool because these are stickers. And you guys know me, I love stickers. I obviously, as someone who's using a journal and notebooks, etc., sometimes I like to do them myself, but I always appreciate when I can actually use stickers. So these are really, really cool. And it's got the otta, which I really, really appreciate. It says here, thank you so much for being here. I am worthy, with the heart and a heart and an eye. And then we can see also, I believe, the symbols. Yes, these are the symbols of the four suits of miners. And then, sorry, my eyesight is absolutely terrible. I think this is a plover, but I'm not entirely sure. In any case, it's a bird. So really, really cool. Very happy about this. Also with the QR code, if you want to download the PDF version of the guidebook. This is it's a foam that really protects the deck, because sometimes tin deck don't have this, and it means that the cards literally just go around making noise and bouncing around the walls of the sides of the tin. So it comes with a belly band in paper, which I'm going to remove. And it's always best when it's in paper and not plastic. So now I have the 3 decks. I'm just going to show you the difference in size between all of them. And we are going to have the pocket edition here. Then we're looking at the let's say the linen edition, which is slightly smaller, as we've seen, and the third one, which is the first edition, which is standard tarot size. So just to show you the difference between the 3, we've got, as I said, the standard, the linen, and the mini. Oh, okay, that's the first time that I actually see this. There's differences in the backs. So sorry about that, I didn't even say that. So the linen edition doesn't have these decorations on the side. It does have the same theme at the center. But when it comes to the pocket, the tin edition, I don't know if you can tell, but there is gold foiling at the back. It's a very warm kind of color. It's gold, but it's still a very warm kind of gold. And it's also in here around these 2 characters here. So that's really nice to notice these things. But as I said, you know, it is substantially smaller, as you can see. So it is a really good size if you just wanted a mini, basically. And I am collecting a lot of minis lately. I find it's so much easier to use them. I really am into my kind of a mini phase. So again, we're looking at the same cards. So since we've seen 2 decks before, I'm not going to show you all of them. Obviously, we start with the Suit of Cups, and then we're moving on to the Major Arcana. There is one thing that I wanted to point out, that throughout the different editions, there has been a change in the Lovers card. So for example, this one offers you an alternate Lover card, which is showing 2 butterflies. And this one is more gender neutral when it comes to the shape of the body shape, let's say, when you want to use this card. Just good to show you the difference. This is the first edition that we've seen earlier, and it's the one that I have. And let me just go to the Lover card, and so you can tell the difference between this one is, you know, non-gender specific, this is gender specific, but we also have the option of using the butterflies. So it's always really nice to have the possibility to choose which card to use, and at the same time it makes this deck also diverse, which is always appreciated. I don't think there's other changes. There could be, sorry Mari, if there are changes, you can put a comment in the section below if you want to reach out. As I said, this I've never seen this version before, so I'm really happy to being able to look at it now. But at the same time, this is a first impression, obviously, and I'm not going into the details of the edition. One thing that I forgot to mention is that this deck is also gilded, and it's the same kind of gilding that we've seen earlier. So this is a really beautiful matte gold, which makes it so, as I said, that the cards don't stick one to the other. So absolutely stoked to have this, but let's have a look at what else is in the box. Okay, in the box we also find the bigger, let's say, guidebook, which is something that I always wanted but was never able to get. Sorry, let me just make some room here so we'll be able to see properly. It is a chunky monkey of a book, as you can see here. Absolutely fantastic. You know me, I love books, and I love tarot guidebooks. Why? Because it's always very interesting to know what the creator was thinking when they created that specific card. It's not just about knowing what the meaning of the card is, it's literally to create, to form this bond with the creator, not just by using their cards, but also to try and get into their state of mind, that creative state of mind. So the Gentle Tarot, Heal Yourself, Heal the Earth. It's a really beautiful. Now this is there is a very specific name to this. It's okay, so it's not a paperback and it's not a hardcover, it's in between. I'm sorry that I don't know the technical name for this. You'd think that I would, but unfortunately it escapes me at the moment. But it means that it is flexible, as you can see, but at the same time it's not as flexible that it can actually get damaged or form ears, for example, like sometimes it can happen to a paperback. And it opens up, and this is really nice because we can see again the gold foil. So really loving this, and loving the colors as well. So it is literally the guidebook, and this one was the concept of this was created in 2022. So it's really interesting to see also the evolution of Mary's throughout her product. Embrace your gifts, no fear, receive. You are on the right path. Isn't it amazing? I really love the way in which Mary is expressing her compassion, her kindness throughout her products. And she made a business out of it, which is, you know, it's obviously something that it's admirable, because it means that she finds enough of what she loves about tarot and about healing, about nature and about her art, but she finds enough correspondences into the world, she finds enough exit into the world, in which it means that she can actually have this business and, you know, and make it her own profession, which I think it's always amazing. So we got a little bit of a table of contents, so the introduction, the deck, the guidebook, gratitude, tarot 101, etc. We do have card spreads as well, opening intention, closing intention. I love that the pages are in color. I always really like this. And I have to say, sometimes when they're in color, it might be more difficult to read, but the font is big enough. I do wear reading glasses, I have to say, but that brings me back to a normal level of reading. It's not like I'm using a magnifying lens. This is also very informative. I'm seeing here at first impression. It's very interesting because there is a little bit of references to elements, but there's also references to numerology, for example, which you always want, because it's not just the way in which you will read this specific tarot deck, but also it will give you an insight on how to read tarot decks in general, how to connecting with your intuition, which is always really nice. And then we've got this card spreads, which is awesome. Opening intention, as we've seen earlier, and closing intention, and then we start with the cards. And obviously always loving to read what the creator was thinking, you know, when they were ideating, when they're creating or giving birth to these ideas. So in the Fool says, for example, I am bound for newness. I swim past the threshold into the unknown with energy sparked by the infinite divine within and without. So I love the fact that it's addressing the reader with the first person. So I am, and it's a dialogue, it's a conversation. It's almost as if we were hearing Mary speak these words to us. So we got a little bit of obviously introspection into the card itself. We got the upright meaning, the reverse meaning, the art symbolism, which is always interesting. So really looking forward to dig deeper into this deck. Let me just double check if it does offer you the same amount of pages for the minors as well. It looks like it does indeed. So it's always very nice, because sometimes, you know, for space reason and also for cost per budgeting reasons, you don't have the same amount of information for the minors. Sometimes the minor are just maybe one page as opposed to the majors, but it's always really nice to see that she's done a great job in both majors and minors. Really beautiful, can't wait to read this. It's actually a really good size. It feels very cool to the touch as well, which I always appreciate. Really love this. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for sending this to me. I really did have that in my wish list, but I just couldn't get it. So this is, I believe, so she says, thank you, Silvia. Let me just quickly open it to see whether I can share it with you. Okay, guys, I'm so excited. I had no idea. So in this envelope, I'm going to show you what I found. I'm so excited. These, I believe they're called giclées in French, but it's almost like you wear a postcard in a cardstock that feels like art paper. Honestly, I've got goosebumps, because these are a few previews of the cards that are now part of the deck that is funded on Kickstarter right now. So the name of the deck, it's an oracle deck, and it's like an oracle deck that is literally being conceived as a companion deck to the Gentle Tarot. So it's not just, let's say, an oracle deck without intention, although I doubt that any oracle deck doesn't have an intention. What I mean with this is that it's obviously being conceived as a combination to the Gentle Tarot. And I'm just so very excited. As I said, I will put the link in the description box below. My Friend Fire is the name of the companion deck or oracle deck. These look, I don't know if I can describe this to you, but the line work in this card, because of the particular color, which is a really nice cornflower blue, as you can see here, it is resulting in a very beautiful contrast between the background colors and the front colors. This is really beautiful. I don't think, I'm looking through the lens right now, I don't feel like I can convey the sense of 3D, so of depth, that this card has thanks to this line work. Is actually exceptional. It is really profound, and I love the fact that you have a number. So obviously when you go back to the guidebook, you'll be able to read the description straight away, because it's number 42. But also when you want to use the deck in an intuitive way, you can also refer to the keywords that you'll find at the bottom of the card. So this card is actually called Allow, and I could not have come up with a better way to describe this card in a visual manner. So this is really beautiful. I love the fact that this character is closing their eyes, because they are literally allowing themselves to go with the flow, and I really love this. I have not looked at any of this card. I just wanted to do this, you know, almost as if it were live, as in I'm sharing my first impressions with you. So then we have sending and receiving, which is also incredibly beautiful and potent. So these two characters are kneeling one in front of the other, and they're almost as if they were embracing themselves, hugging the other person. But at the same time, there is this really strong sense of bond. It almost feels like a Rorschach test, you know, one of those images that is one side is mirroring the other, in the sense that they look like it's literally one side mirroring the other, one character mirroring the other. But at the same time, we also notice the differences in colors that tell us that even though these two characters are very similar, but they're also different, but they're also in communication, they are forming a bond, and their hands are touching each other's heart. Honestly, goosebumps, so beautiful. The concept, but also the concept in relation to the artwork is just fantastic. And this card is called Dream. And I love the fact that it almost looks like it could be a star card because this character is reaching out to touch one of the stars. But it's because they are allowed to do that because they are supported. They are supported by this big, clearly bigger character that is supporting them with their hands. Really fantastic. I do believe that the term dream or the keyword dream is referring back to the fact that this character is almost as if it were transparent. So you can see through and you can see the hands behind the person. Almost as if we were in a trance state of mind, but we're still reaching for the star. Free to Be, which is an amazing card. I love these rainbows. I love the fact that this person is obviously in a position that gives them the possibility to feel like they're in touch with everything else that surrounds them, nature, and in this case also the bird or the eagle or whatever bird that is. And it looks like these rainbows are definitely creating this safe space for this person to actually be free to be who they are. And the fluid, the stream, really beautiful. It does give you this sense of motion, this sense of flowing, this sense of moving and transitioning from one place to another, almost as if it were a Six of Swords, but at the same time, it does tell you that you're still protected. Wow, this is amazing. Look, this card is so beautiful. I hadn't seen this card. This is literally the first time. So it says life energy, and I love the fact that we feel this sense of bond, this sense of connection, a meaningful connection, but at the same time, because we talked about it when talking about the Two of Swords, remember, from the Gentle Tarot? So because of the presence of the algae, it feels like perhaps this is a scene under the ocean, and you can confirm that by the presence of another seal here, which is super duper cute, by the way, and a whale. And I really love that there is this sense of stillness, like I was talking about with the Two of Swords or Two of Thunder. There is this sense of peace, of stillness, but there is also this focus on the center of the soul and the heart. And so the life energy that brings about all of the elements, and also strongly so the element of water, because water gives life, and it's just amazing. And again, I don't want to read too much because I don't have the guidebook, so obviously I don't know whether the intention was to depict this card in this way, but this is what this deck is, or these cards are giving me as feelings intuitively right now. So we got one heartbeat. And I really love this as well because there is this figure that is laying down, and I believe these are the chakra, the spot in the body where you feel the strength and the energy of the chakra, the different chakras, but perhaps not, because we see something on the hand as well. So I'm not entirely sure. It could be the chakras, but it could be also something else. But it's a one heartbeat because it really shows you that we are part of everything that is around us. We are one and all. And it's really, really beautiful. I love these two wolves, I believe they are. And, you know, the sense of fire that is coming out of them and out of this figure that is laying back on a mountain. But also there is a comet star here and a rainbow. So all of these elements that give us the possibility to feel like we are at one with everything that surrounds us. And Fire Within, which is a really beautiful, I believe it's a Kodiak bear, could be completely wrong. I'm apologizing if it's not. I just say that because of the ring around the face. In any case, it's a bear. So it's a bear that is holding a fire, and I really love this card. It really gives me the opportunity to focus on the creative energy of the element of fire. Receive as another really beautiful card. Again, I absolutely love the combination of colors, the saturation of the colors themselves, and also the combination between the line work and the way in which the color have filled the canvas. Let's call it a canvas, even though it is not canvas. So Receive also gives you the possibility to see and to look at this person as if they were receiving the support and the resources that they need at that time. and the fire is calling, which is another really beautiful card. Are these flamingos? Probably not. Again, I am so sorry, but sometimes I just don't know the names of birds. In English, it's so difficult. There are so many birds. In any case, really beautiful, the harmony that you feel between this person that in this case has got fire within, but the fire is actually calling. So there is this mirroring between the energy of the fire that is triggered within a person and the reflection and the mirroring of this fire into the action in the surroundings. I'm so stoked about these cards. They are absolutely amazing, and this is, as I said, it's a bit of a preview of the My Friend Fire, the deck that you can now back on Kickstarter. So obviously at the time of filming, but also at the time of posting. So this campaign goes on until mid-November. So depending on when you're watching this video, you'll still be able to back it. I hope that you will be able to. But I'm pretty sure that this deck will still be available after all the rewards will be sent out. It will probably be available in Mari's shop as well. So if you are watching this video after the campaign has closed, I'm pretty sure you can also reach out to her, and I'm pretty sure she'll give you the possibility to get this deck. I'm definitely gonna get it. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm so happy that I've got these, but it's not finished. There's still stuff in the box. I can't believe that she could pack so much stuff. I'm so stoked. So I talked before about stickers. How freaking cool is this? I really love the fact that these are stickers. They are small, and so that gives me the possibility to use them in my notebook for, guess what, for my daily card pulls, because obviously these are, sorry, I forgot to say, these are actually stickers out of the Gentle Tarot. So we see, for example, we start with the Fool, and we go the Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, the Emperor, the Hierophant, the genderless lover card, and also the butterflies as the lover cards. But also, let me just double check, because again, first time that I look at this, do we have all of the cards? This would be so freaking cool. I believe we have all of the cards of the deck. This is amazing. Thank you so much again, Mari. This is crazy. You didn't have to. It's just so freaking amazing. When I refer to my daily tarot practice, which is rather complex when I want it to be, but then again, the majority of days I just feel like pulling cards and then journaling about them. And I try different methods on, for example, I try to scan the cards and then print them out, print them in scale because they're too big for my notebook. Or sometimes I use a like a small camera, and I take a photo and then I print it. But having stickers is just the best way, because they're not ultra big, but they're still big enough for you to be able to read what card this is, and you just put them there. It's almost as if you were doing the pull and the spread on your notebook, and then you journal about them on the next page. So I'm really looking forward to use these ones, and there's few of them. So there's 9 rows, so there's actually 9 decks. It's almost as if we were stickers to cover 9 decks. I don't know if it makes sense, but there's 9 rows of all of the cards in a deck. So really happy about this, absolutely loving this, and looking forward to the opportunity to read them, to use them. And there's more, because my goodness, it's like really the box that keeps on giving. So I am so happy because there's another a notebook. Let me just zoom out quickly. This is really beautiful. It's it feels like art paper as well. So just to show you again the first notebook that we've had a look at. So this is obviously pocket size because it can easily go into your purse. So I will definitely take this with me. It's also sturdier in a sense that obviously when I was talking about putting it in my purse, I also thought about, let's hope that it doesn't get ruined. It does come with a ribbon, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it is here. And this one is bigger, so this is probably not, I have smaller purses, but I do have several notebooks that I use back at home, And so this is perfect, and it still comes with one page with lines and one with a dotted grid, which is always very useful because I do tend to use the other one. And amazingly, we also have the opening intention and probably the closing intention on the other side. Yes, indeed. So really looking forward to use this one as well. This is also first edition. And this one also, I believe in many products you will see the disclaimer that 5% of the proceeds go into charity for the planet and the conservation of the planet, which is amazing. And I don't know if you know this, and I don't remember where I mentioned this before, but Mary lives in Alaska. So obviously she has daily access to a wonderful nature, and I have not been to Alaska yet, but it is on my wish list and I'm really looking forward to go one day. Absolutely amazing. What I want to do now is I probably want to show you one of the spreads. So we're going to do a reading using one of the spread, the Lift Me Up, probably spread, but I also want to show you a couple of decks that I use with the Gentle Tarot. These are Oracle decks to use in combination with the Tarot deck, and they look absolutely amazing. Okay, so I set up the table, I shuffled the deck. So this is the way in which I'm going to show you. There's a few decks that I believe pair up really well with the Gentle Tarot. Just in case you haven't backed the My Friend Fire Companion deck campaign, I will say this: when a tarot deck, in my practice and the way I see it, when a tarot deck pairs up and makes me want to use it with a number of oracle decks, that is a winner for me. It means that I really like to use it, that the deck itself finds itself at ease in my collection, that there's a propensity for me to actually try and look at the cards in a different way thanks to the meaning of the oracle cards that I associate. So there's a number of things that really is a there are telltale signs for me when I really bond and I appreciate the deck. And one of the tarot decks that I like to pair up the most with other oracle decks that are in my collection is definitely the Gentle Tarot. So throughout the years you'll see me pairing it up with many different decks. Today I'm just going to show you 5 of them, simply because it is a long video and I just don't want to go on for hours. But let's start with this one because it is the most meaningful one for me. This is the Wisdom of the Elders Oracle by Sean Leonard, and the artwork is by Tracy Metallic and Aaron Gugu. This is a Hay House deck, so it's a mass market deck. And I have to say, this is the deck that I'm using this month because it is one of the decks that I recommend when you want to create a ritual for Samhain, when the veil is thin. This is an ancestors or elders based deck, and of course it does reflect that in the energies of the cards. These two together are absolutely the chef's kiss. They really bond. They have this kind of conversation that I like to say, that they don't necessarily need me as the tarot reader or as someone who's interpreting the cards, because it literally feels like there is this communication going on between the two decks. And I just feel like I have to take a step back and probably just listen to it and understand it. And it is very communicative, but it's also very intuitive. So if you want to learn how to use these two in combination for this ritual of honoring the ancestors and honoring the elders, or honoring the ones that are not with us anymore in this Samhain, I highly recommend this, because it is just absolutely fantastic. The colors are very similar, so the color palette they resonate a lot, but also the artwork, even though it is different, it's not the same artist obviously, but there are a lot of similarities, and there's a lot of similarities when it comes to the vibes of both of these decks as well. So as I said, really absolutely a joy to use these two decks together. They do, however, go for a very powerful reading, so I don't necessarily recommend this on a daily basis, because as you can tell, the energies are very, very, they're all encompassing. It's like they spread very deeply, but also very broadly. And you know, sometimes when we are reflecting on these feelings that come from the message in the cards, we also need time. It is ritualistic, so I highly recommend it, not for everyday use, but this is a fantastic combination. Let's move on to a different deck. So another deck that I believe pairs up really well with the Gentle Tarot, and by the way, I'm using the standard size because most of my Oracle decks are either standard size or even bigger. So I'm talking about the Roots and Wings Oracle by Kat Riles, and this is a really similar deck when it comes to the energies, because it also gives me that idea of being one with nature and what's around us. The layout or the setup of these two decks is not the same. So if you know there is Roots and Wings, you will know that there's a lot of use of the color white for the background, and obviously that has a meaning because it makes your eyes focus on the center of the image. So when it comes to the aesthetics, perhaps it's not a 100% match like the first deck is, but at the same time it also gives you the opportunity to create a little bit of breathing room between the cards. So obviously you can choose to focus, well, look at that, we got obviously a bird in both these cards. You can choose to focus on the message that is reflected on the keyword of the Oracle deck, and then you can expand that message by looking at the tarot cards that are on the sides. And that is my favorite method when it comes to using two decks together, or two or three decks together. Sometimes I actually like to use a third deck, as in a different tarot deck, so two tarot decks and an oracle decks, and not just one tarot deck split in two. But you do you. I mean, obviously you need to find the best way for the cards to communicate to you. And as I always say, as tarot readers, we are storytellers, but first and foremost, we are interpreters, because we are listening to the message, we are interpreting the message, and then we become storytellers because we relay the message back to the person we're doing the reading for. So this is amazing. And let me tell you, these two, as I said, when it comes to the art style, we do see that there is a flow, but we use the white of the background of the Roots and Wings Oracle to create a bit of a breathing space between the cards, but at the same time the energies are very, very similar. There is a lot of echoes between the cards, and I really appreciate that. Now let me show you another couple of decks. So another deck that I love to pair with the Gentle Tarot is the Wild and Sacred Feminine deck by Nikki DeWart and Elizabeth Maglin. The illustrations are by Jenny Kostecki-Shaw. I hope that I'm not butchering the names. I'm so sorry if I am. So this is a mass market deck, and it's released by Shambhala. I have to say that I have seen this pairing for the first time in Annette's channel, Annette from A Project Refined Life, and she always has some fantastic pairings in her channel. I always really appreciate it whenever she brings up a new pairing. I always try it out myself if I have the cards, obviously the decks. This one is really amazing. Again, we have this sense of there is a common roots, there are common roots between these two decks. There is the sense of nature around us, recognizing the resources we ourselves are a part of, the fact that we are one and everything. And there is also a really strong, thanks to the oracle, there is a very strong sense of the divine feminine. However, I have to say that the Gentle Tarot is one very balanced deck. So I was talking about the balance and the grounding between the difference in the presence of the elements, but at the same time, the presence is very diverse, and it feels like there's a lot of possibilities to use this deck to look at both feminine and masculine kind of energies. And it's also because there are so many animals in the deck and so many natural landscapes that really tells you how vast the theme and the concept of the deck itself are. So I'm really pleased to say when I pair it up with a strongly feminine energetically feminine deck like this one, the Wild and Sacred Feminine, I do feel this sense of there is a communion between the decks, because I can definitely feel how close the bond is between these two decks. But at the same time, I can pair it up with a as we've seen earlier, with the Roots and Wings, for example, and also with the Wisdom of the Elders, because they are also balanced decks. And so it is, the Gentle Tarot is a very versatile deck. That's what I wanted to say. Really, really beautiful. I also appreciate the fact that the Oracle comes with not just the title, but also with keywords, which is always very helpful for tarot readers, whether you're intuitive or you just stick to a certain set of reading and a certain discipline or system. At the same time, you will appreciate the opportunity to relate to what the keyword is and as the creator has thought about that card. So really fantastic exchange of energies between these two decks. And now what I want to show you is something that makes me really excited, because I've decided to use these really beautiful cards as, some kind of a sneak peek into the cards of the companion deck to the Gentle Tarot. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put them in the middle as if we were looking at the actual Oracle deck. And we're going to see how beautiful these cards are together with the cards from the Gentle Tarot itself. Now, obviously, the cards, you can have a look at the campaign, and as I said, I will put the link in the description box below. But once you see the card, you will see that this is the border. So you will imagine that they have the same structure as the Tarot deck, in the sense that you will not see a white borders. Simply, these are artistic paper. They are prints on artistic paper. So obviously, as a matter of fact, I am so sorry. These are called giclées in French, and I should have done some research about them. I don't actually know whether this is printed or painted. So this is how zero I am when it comes to art. And you know what? I am what I am. I am not ashamed of the fact that I know nothing. I do know how to appreciate it, in the sense that I do like the aesthetics. But what I meant to say is you will be able to read all of the details about the specifications of the deck in the campaign, and Mary will explain also what kind of cardstock you can expect. For now, I am pretty sure that there will not be these white borders. So imagine this experience, but with a lot more flowing, because there will not be any white. Let me just zoom in quickly just to get even closer to the cards. And we're just gonna do this because it's really beautiful. Look how beautiful this is. This is the perfect companion deck. I mean, obviously I wanted to show you how versatile the Gentle Tarot is by using it and showing it to you as combined to different oracle decks that people may have. But this is just the way it should be. It feels like the intention behind these cards is absolutely pairing up so well with the Gentle Tarot. And look, we've got the life energy with the Six of Stones, which is the Six of Pentacles, or the Six of Earth, in which there is this sense of exchange. You know, I always look at this card and I think this is not the card of charity. Yes, of course you can read it that way, but this is an equal exchange, and it's a very beautiful kind of exchange. And this is what I think about when I think about a connection in which we give something out of our own self and receive something back. And this is the life energy card, and it's also between this sense of the choice, but also the choice of being in a bond, in being in a relationship of the Lovers cards, which is really beautiful. I'm absolutely in love with how beautiful these two look together, and I can't wait to be able to have the actual deck of the Oracle or Companion deck. It is an amazing combination, let me tell you. Not just the colors, of course, because obviously we're looking at the same artist, so obviously there are echoes and resonances when it comes to the art style and the line work, and also the choice of the colors. But sometimes, and I don't know if it's just me, sometimes I feel that it's, you know, the artwork is just one part of a deck. Obviously, when it comes to an oracle deck, you have to be very careful when you choose the keywords, because that shows a lot about you and the way in which you look at the cards themselves and what you want to express with those cards. And there's a lot of oracle deck creators, and that's absolutely fine, but they keep on repeating the same 50 odd keywords that we see, the usual, the abundance card and the protection card and the love card and the safety card. But in this case, I love how we can actually feel the difference in the messages. So we have something like free to be and fluid stream and the fire is calling and life energy and one heartbeat. There is so much depth in this card. There is so much we can go within and interpret out of these cards that really gives you an ideal connection between the two decks. It's a really powerful one, I can tell you. I don't know if you probably cannot tell, because obviously the experience for me is complete, is 100%, because I feel the cards and I feel their vibes in my hands. So through the camera is something different, but I can assure you it's an amazing experience. Absolutely love these together. The last thing that I wanted to do today is, as I promised earlier, we're just gonna have a look at the Lift Me Up spread. And with that, I want to say goodbye to everyone. So thank you for being here. Thank you for following my channel. Thank you, Mari, for giving me the opportunity to present your decks and for these absolutely amazing gifts. It's been an amazing unboxing. So if you're new to my channel, I am starstruck today because I am so very over the moon for having had this opportunity. Mari in the Sky, she's one of my favorite creators of all time, and I absolutely love the Gentle Tarot. So the links will be in the description boxes below, as I said, and I just want to again say, if you like this video, please consider that it's always very important for me to grow my channel. When I am given the possibility to grow my channel, it also gives me more time to dedicate to producing content. So if you like this video, if you can like it and subscribe to my channel, please do so. Please talk about my channel with others, because that will give me the possibility to grow. Now let's without much further ado, let's shuffle the deck, and then we're going to do the Lift Me Up spread. And I just wanted to say something. So whenever I do a reading, I always give the disclaimer that these readings, you can decide for yourself whether you want to take the message, if you feel that the message resonates with you or not. Because I always rely on consent. I never give a tarot reading for a person that is not aware that I'm doing this reading for them. So I always need consent. And I think that is one of the most important things, because you can imagine when you're reading the cards for someone, you're tapping into their own energy, and it's extremely important to have their own permission. And that's why I do not read for third parties. So I do bi-weekly readings for my members, but I always tell them I cannot read for someone you know. I can only read for you, or if it's centered on someone else, it might be related to your energy towards this person, but not this person just as a subject of the reading, because I don't have the consent of this person. So when I'm doing reading like this, which is in general, please be aware that this is not a reading for you in specific. It's a reading for you only to the extent in which this reading resonates for you or not. And that's something that you will always be able to count on, because I'm a very private person and I'm a very conscious person when it comes to the energy. So I've been shuffling this deck for a while, even before. So what I'm going to do, let me just recuperate the Lift Me Up spread. Okay, so this is the Lift Me Up spread, which is found in a tag box together with the linen edition of the Gentle Tarot. So we have 3 positions. So what I'm going to do, let me see if I can perhaps zoom out for a second, just to give you the possibility to keep this spread in the frame. And now let me just fan out the deck. And I'm going to pull 3 cards, and then we're just going to zoom back in so we can see the cards more properly. So let me see, I want 3 cards, so let's have a look. I want this one, and then we're looking at this one, and I want to go here, so this one here. Okay, so as I said, let me just put them in the right position. So we've got the first one, that was this one, then this one, then this one. This one looks like it's a bit lifted, but I can definitely zoom in when they're aligned. Okay, so this is it. So what is holding me back? This is the position. This one is what can lift me up. This is in this position. And this one is how do I support myself? So let's have a look at all 3 of them. What is holding me back? What can lift me up? And how do I support myself? I really like this spread. It's obviously, you know, it's not just, you see what I mean when I talk about having this deck and feeling how balanced it is, because it's not just lift me up and it's all positive and it's all peachy and it's all nice and it's all good, because it's not. It also, you know, it brings my attention on to what is holding me back. So at least it's acknowledging that something is holding me back, and it's giving me the opportunity to acknowledge it and be peaceful about it. So what is holding me back is the King of Thunder. Thunder is the renaming for the suit of swords. So the way in which I read the King of Swords is the archetype of the expert or the scientist. This is obviously my imposter syndrome. I always have the impression that I am never reaching the level of being or knowing enough about something in order to be able to then share my knowledge, which is definitely the role of the King of Air. So this is holding me back in the sense that by not recognizing the opportunities that by not recognizing the level, the skill, the opportunities that I have inside of me, the skills that I have inside of me, I'm also turning down the opportunities that are in front of me, and that is definitely holding me back. So not knowing, let's say, this is almost as if I were reading the King of Air in reverse. So there is something that is literally blocking my energy, but also my sense of knowing what I'm doing and what I'm talking about. So let's see what the suggestions are in the next card. So what can lift me up? And it's the Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups is obviously that card that talks about the times of my life in which things were easier, and perhaps I didn't have to worry about a lot of things. I didn't have to worry about complicating issues and stuff like that, or trouble, or having to put off fires left and right, which is basically the gist of being an adult sometimes. So this card is telling me that something that can lift me up is trying and finding those energies of believing that I could be free, that I could have everything in front of me, and that I could have endless possibilities in front of me when I was younger, and getting back to with the knowledge that it's not entirely true. So it's not like I'm fooling myself into believing that I have another 50 years in front of me, but at the same time I do want to recuperate the same kind of energy. So obviously the Suit of Cups is a suit of feelings and emotion, and you can really find that charge that you really need in order to get back, you know, to lift yourself up. So that, you know, thinking about try and feeling the way I used to feel when I felt happy because there was nothing that was going wrong in my life, or nothing that was concerning in my life, with the knowledge, knowing that of course I have had a lot of experiences, and I know that I should treasure those moments. So it's a very beautiful, let's say, message here from this position. And then how do I support myself? And that's the High Priestess. And I know absolutely what this is talking about. It's literally to understand that the archetype of the High Priestess, if you are a member of my channel, you will know that we're doing this series on reading Tarot like a pro. And so we're talking about the clusters and constellation that constitute the power of each and every major arcana. And so the cluster, the principle of the High Priestess is the principle of remembering all things. So the High Priestess is highly intuitive because she remembers all things, she knows all things, and she is all things. And so the High Priestess is basically tapping into your own intuition, but it's at the same time tapping into your memory. She is the custodian of all memories. That is an amazing way to look at the High Priestess, and I'm very grateful to Mary Kay Greer because she was the very first one that expressed this concept about the High Priestess, and it is a very revolutionary but at the same time also very intuitive way to look at this card. So what I do, I support myself is by tapping into that intuition, but also tapping into those memories that I may not know that I have, but I certainly possess. Like each and every one of us, we are made of the very first spark of life, and we have it within ourselves. Really loving the way in which I read this deck, and it's just not me, it's everyone. Everyone has these fantastic feelings when reading with this deck. It's one of my favorite decks of all time. The Gentle Tarot by Mary in the Sky. Again, I will put all of the links that I can in the description box below, and just for your knowledge and disclaimer, the links that I will post for Mary's shop, that will be an affiliate link, because if you buy anything from the shop through that link, I will receive a small commission, which will definitely go into supporting my channel. So I am very grateful for that as well. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.